Hey everybody, Barry here again. What a morning! It's windy and disgusting and rainy. I'm gonna come in here where it's not windy. I want this window. Look at this. It's a tinted back glass. I didn't even realize this was a thing until Rodney told me about it yesterday. So I'm here armed with two $1 X-Acto knives and I'm gonna try to cut it out. Never really done this before, but it's worth a shot. So I'm gonna move some of this junk out of the way and get in there and see if I can cut a window out. All right, so this is where I'm at. I just pulled off this rear cover thing here and you can see the urethane or whatever it is. So, is this gonna suck? Probably. Well, it's not that bad. I just gotta make a million traces back and forth and then I can pretty much push the window out. I gotta do it all the way around, obviously. But this has rear defrost, that's pretty cool. And I don't see any damage to it. Maybe a little bit hot right there, but to be honest, I don't even care if the rear defrost works or not. It's not really that big of a deal to me, and I don't know if I put the wiring in or not. So I may end up pulling the rear defrost wiring out of the carpet. It goes down along here, and then adding it to my harness, which is not really a big deal. It's only 2 wires. And then my rear defrost should work. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue trimming this stuff out, and I gotta go all the way around like I said. And when I get this popped out, we'll check in and change it on Desperado. This is actually going way better than I expected. Watch. Look at that, man. That is so cool. Now I have an exhaust flange right there and like a tail light and a couple things that I want to move out of the way, so I'm going to move all that junk and then I can kind of push the window out and just slice down around the corners. I didn't want to go all the way up back up to the shop and grab a screwdriver, so I'm just kind of hooking the knife in around here and being careful of the wiring and stuff. But I think I'll be able to get this in just a couple of minutes. Wicked. This is probably not going to be a great view because I can't get a tripod in here, but let's see if I can make this work without breaking the window. I moved everything in the bed and I've got a tailgate laid across so that it should just lay flat. Oh, oh boy. Oh, don't fall down there. Oh, wicked. And there it is. Like 20 minutes with a regular old $2 knife and the back window is out. And I didn't cut up the wiring or anything, so I'll come back on a nice dry day, strip the interior out of this thing and take that wiring. But for right now, I'm interested in that. Just got Desperado backed in. For anybody who doesn't know, here's a 5-second overview. This is Desperado, my 03-ish Silverado single cab short bed with a full Escalade conversion inside and out. It has a 6-liter with a GT45 turbo and is full-time all-wheel drive. And here's my fishbowl of a back window. Man, it's like driving around in a greenhouse, I gotta say. And then we come over here and we've got like limo tint. Man, that's nice. Essentially right now I'm gonna go do the exact same thing. The only thing that's kind of sucky is I have to lose my phone mount that's right here. Usually I put my phone up there when I'm doing draggy runs, and sometimes I use the double lens thing so that it takes a video of the back of the truck as well. I don't know if that's going to be a feature now or not, but whatever. And my 1320 sticker. So I've got to order a new one of those and I'll put it on as soon as I get it. All right, so I can kind of just barely squeeze in behind here, so I'm just going to pull out this tray for my jack. And then I'll pop off this rear panel, same as I did on the other one, and just kind of sneak the blade in around because I don't want to go taking this stuff apart too much. It does get weak and the clips break, so I'd rather just leave that and be careful with the knife so I don't scratch it up. Also, I have to be careful not to drive the blade too far down in here and end up scratching the paint in behind. So just keep the blade length short and just take my time. It is lunchtime. I got 2 new knives because that one broke in my hand and almost relieved me of a couple of fingers. Anyway, I got 2 new knives and I'm just gonna go and cut that out And I mean, back right where we were again. So I'll grab a tube of silicone after and glue that thing in. This should be relatively quick, actually. Somebody did bring up a very good point in the comments. They said, why not use a Nissan Titan back window? I think also maybe the Tundra has a back window that does it as well. It rolls down the center. They're super sick. I think it's awesome. If I end up coming across one of those windows someday, yeah, I'll probably chop this out and glue that one in. They look really cool. The only thing that I don't like is you have to chop the whole center out of like the back panel, and it looks kind of ugly, so I'd probably end up like 3D printing or making up a sheet metal panel to go over and cover it so you can't see like the window tracks and stuff, and then come up with some factory looking button that I can press for up and down. That's not really a concern right now. Right now, I'm just gonna go with this guy. If I do find a 3-piece back window that rolls down, yeah, I may end up changing it out. Anyway, I guess I haven't really shown much, but I'm just kind of putting the blade out that far and just digging it down into the urethane and just going along like this. I'm not trying to get it all in one bite, just kind of going back and forth, digging into the urethane. And after a while, I start to see light down through, so I know I'm getting through it. And then come up here, cut it, you know, around there. And I do it two-handed, but I just want to show it in the video. Do that all the way around. Don't be trying to push the glass out and stuff. Don't go trying to push it and tear the urethane, because this stuff is super strong and you're going to break your window and probably end up getting caught. So just take your time. Hey, there it goes. Oh, this is probably easier to get out of.
And here's the staggering difference between the factory glass on the right, and then I guess I should also call that factory glass as well, but the glass that's going in. That is basically black reflective, like I can't see anything through it. When you get up really close, you can see like the lines for the defrost or whatever, but 4 or 5 feet away, you can't see anything. That is sick. Man, I cannot wait to get it in. So basically, I need to flip this over, probably on that stack of tires or whatever, and clean up the remaining, what do you call it? Windshield urethane on that. Don't step on the glass. And then go around here with the box cutter as well and just clean up whatever is left there, and then I can just glue it back in. Now I did notice something on this glass that I don't believe I saw on that one, and that is a little tabby tab right there. Look, one there, and there was one on this side too that I guess probably aligned the glass, but it's not on the other one, so I guess I'll just kind of have to wing it. This job isn't too seriously difficult. I just got to make sure I'm not going to go and cut the paint or anything like that. But hey, look at that. It's coming in already. And yeah, I don't want to get down past the paint. So I assume windshield urethane will stick to windshield urethane. And I'm not going to go crazy. If the windshield does fly out, well, I've got a bunch more out in the scrapyard there. So I'll get this cleaned up, and then I'll check in when I'm doing the silicone, I guess. This is going well enough. I've got it right down to pretty much the metal, and there's maybe a film of urethane left, but if any at all, it's not very much. Over here, this is actually much easier, partly because I can access it much easier, but I just ran the knife across this here one time like that, and I got just about all the urethane off. So I'm just gonna go around the window on that. And again, this didn't have like those little bump things. I think it may have been there at one time, but it's not anymore. So basically I'm gonna grab a bunch of painter's tape, push it in till it's kind of squished in level, and then have a bunch of painter's tape around it, holding it in and also holding it correctly this way, because I don't want it falling down with gravity over the night. I'm gonna use the fast cure urethane, but I still want to have something secondary there to make sure that it's not going to move. So I may have done some damage. I'm sure, oh yeah, you can see that even clearer than I can actually. And that's from the knife scraping off the urethane. And I didn't actually realize that was like primer or something. Can't see it here. Oh, there it is. Yep, more there. And much, much worse down here. I thought, hey, maybe the windshield urethane will kind of squish out and, you know, I don't think so. So I'm going to put a thin strip of tape around the inside on the bottom there and then give it a spray with some flat black paint. And I don't really think the urethane is going to touch out there, so it's not like the paint will have adhesion issues to the glass and then come off. But I definitely don't want that. I definitely don't want to be able to see that. I'd end up cutting it out again in like a day. Well, this is going pretty well. I taped around. I left myself a little bit of extra room just so I have definite paint overlap. And I think when this is black inside, it's going to work perfectly. You can see that the paint that's there is flat. Like it doesn't reflect. I mean, the paint is right on the edge of this tape line. It doesn't seem to reflect anything, any light, not like the glass does. So I'm going to go with flat. I just used a little bit of this wax and grease remover or final wipe or whatever you want to call it. And yep, definitely not a bad idea. That'll help with adhesion a lot more. The only flat black paint I have is this flame proof. It's ceramic, so I mean, it'll be good paint. It's probably enamel or something like that too, but it dries flat, so good enough for me. There we go. Leave that for a couple hours. Get that windshield put in. Can't wait to see how it looks. The dark, real dark black tint against the blue paint, I think it's gonna look really cool. Here's the urethane I'm gonna be using. It's Proform PF225 Fast Cure Windshield Urethane. And it's got a little guide at the top. I'm sure you won't be able to see it. Maybe. There you go. You can see straight lines across and then triangles going down. So what they recommend you do is cut it off straight and then cut out the triangle. Now I'm only going by directions and what people have told me, but you don't lay a bead like this, put it in straight like that, perpendicular to the panel, and then basically leave behind a triangular shape so that you have a base and then it comes out to a point probably a ½ inch or so deep and it's a triangle, and then you kind of squish your glass into that. Because if you lay a round bead that's, you know, a 1/4 inch in diameter or 3/8 in diameter, as you push the glass in, it gets really, really wide and it'll just like float over the panel and make a huge mess. And I did this when I glued in, what was it? Oh, the roof panel for that roof mounted center console thing there. I actually glued it to the roof because I didn't want to weld to the roof, and it worked really, really well. I just cut out the tip and I cut out that V, and now you can see more of what you want it to be. So I'm here rhyming. Anyway, as you make a bead like this, you pull it back as you're pumping the urethane out, and it'll make, I don't know, I guess it'll just kind of look like that. It'll be a bead, a triangle. I'm way over explaining this. And just a few hours later, the paint, I'm sure, is dry now. Oh geez, that's not bad. Look at that. Yeah, there's a definite line there, but I doubt we're going to see that from the outside. At least I very much hope not. And with it flipped over, beautiful. Man, that was totally worth just a few minutes. Put a little bit of paint on the backside. Whether it's going to last, whether it's going to flake off, I can't really tell, but I do feel like the urethane is going to kind of help seal that in. All right, now for the nerve-wracking part. Glass is set up right here for easy access. Got some tape. Urethane is there. Tripod is set up. Let's do it. Am I terrified? Absolutely.
Is it gonna work? I don't know. Let's see. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is run the bead all the way around the windshield and just hope that I don't mess it up. I'm just gonna follow the exact same pattern or path or whatever that these guys followed when they did it. And hope that I put on enough urethane or maybe not too much. I definitely don't want any leaks. Oh, here we go. Maybe a little extra there. This is not easy. Like, I know, yeah, it's just putting glue onto a panel. It really shouldn't be that hard, but it just seems to kind of want to do whatever it wants. That shouldn't be too bad. Try not to get it on my headliner at all. I don't want that. I definitely don't envy the guys who do this for their everyday job. It must be super stressful. Oops. Oh yeah. Get it in the urethane there. Good job. Okay, that should do for now. Oh boy. Oh yeah, this is terrifying. I gotta try my best to line it up as perfectly as I can first. And not be squishing it around and stuff. Okay, it's low, obviously, we know that. Just gonna push in, up a little bit. See if this thing is gonna help us at all. Okay, that might do something. I printed these little things and I'll show you one after to make my life a little easier, hopefully. Does it. It goes there. Now I'm over this way too far. So I've got to kind of make some room over here, so that's good there, yep. Still a little tiny bit over. Okay, there, maybe a little teensy bit more. This is actually terrifying stuff, I gotta say. Man. Man, it looks good though. Wow. I really, really like the black window. Looks even there. Just gonna push in a little bit so that it's in flush with the glass, or with the back of the cab, I should say. Yep, that looks good. Now it shouldn't go down because I've got these little dot things in there. I'm just gonna put some tape on it just to make sure anyway. Just to make sure it doesn't flex or anything like that. Squished in, and it is. Sick. Alrighty, dude, that is so much darker. Wow. Like, yeah, I know you can see, you know, through the front windshield and stuff, but the difference there is crazy. Okay, so these are the little dot things I was talking about. That is just a little T, and I know it's impossible to see, but I went out and measured a windshield in the back of a truck out back, and it was 2.5 millimeters from the glass down to, like, say, the body. and I made a little T with a round shaft that was 2.5 millimeters in diameter and like 4 long, and I just kind of stuck it in there and stuck it in over on that side so that the glass can sit down on it. That way there's no strain on the glass or on the urethane while it's curing, and then I can just kind of rock the glass this way and that way. I know it's perfectly level with the body there and just adjust it this way. I do have a little urethane kind of globbed out right there. Hey, that just means I have enough. But I am gonna try to kind of get some of that out of there or squish it in around or whatever. But it does look good. I may have to adjust it slightly, but man, I'm really happy with that. And I just realized that I forgot to put in these strip things here when I painted the truck and after it was done. And I've got them here, so hey, why not put them on now? I've got some windshield urethane. Hey, there we go. All glued on. I know they had double-sided sticky tape on them, but whatever. I had a tube of urethane. Very nice. Now I just gotta wait for this to dry and I can drive the truck again. I don't want that tape to grow onto the truck and end up pulling any paint out, so I'm gonna pull that off now. It's been on there for a couple hours, and the set time this urethane is supposed to be something like 50 minutes, so it's definitely over that. It's been on there 4 hours actually, and this painter's tape, even though I put it on my shirt and got it all linted up and stuff, it still has a bit of stick to it, and I don't want to have to go buffing. Oh my, there we go. And I don't want to have to go buffing sticker residue off my truck, but man, that looks really good. Wow, look at that. That is another Factory Plus upgrade. I am absolutely in love with it. Look at that. Beautiful. All tinted out. That's so cool. I kind of want to do front glass now, probably get that done up to like say 35 or 50, but I'm just so happy to have the back done. That is sick. Oh man, it looks so good. And it's not super dark. It's not like I got 5% limo tint or anything crazy like that. It's just a nice, sensible, little darker. And looking out through the side or out through the back, beautiful. That's not bad at all. Obviously, yes, I have to wash it. I gotta clean out the truck and all that, but that is good enough for me. Beautiful. I've got the truck pulled back into the shop for the night. Just gonna let that urethane cure up really nice, make sure there's no leaks and no separation or anything like that. But I am super pleased with it. The bit of flat black paint that I did around the edges looks like it's perfect. I can't see any lines of any differentiation or anything like that. Very happy. I absolutely love it. And it's totally worth it. Let's talk about costs for a second. Yeah, if you had to buy this back window at a scrapyard, I don't know what you'd pay for it. 100 bucks? Who knows? I already had that truck. I paid nothing for it, I think, or very little at least, and I got a bunch of parts off it, so it paid for itself. I spent $6 on those little blue X-Acto knives and $32 on a tube of urethane. That's it. That is the entirety of what this cost me. If I had to go get a back window tinted, it would have been at least 50 bucks. Nobody wants to do anything for less than 50 bucks. So I think I did okay. So let me know what you think. Was it a complete waste of time? Should I just went and got it tinted? I'd love to hear what you think. So I'm all done for today. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks my YouTube members, patrons, and subscribers. If you want to check out my Patreon, it's patreon.com/stationroadratrods. YouTube members link is down here. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody.